Hola Year 7, welcome to lesson 3 of the second summer term. And here is the topic again, ¿Cómo es tu ciudad? What is your town like? Hola chicos. So for today's lesson you will need the following. The exercise book the school gave you, your knowledge organizer for module 6, which is on classcharts, and wordreference.com, which is also on classcharts. So you can open those in a web browser right now in a window. Pause to do that. Please remember to email me if you have any questions about the activities in this lesson, and there's my email address. Also, please remember to upload a photo of your final paragraph onto classcharts at the end of the lesson so I can have a look at your work and award you an achievement point. Gracias. Copia la fecha, viernes el 5 de junio, y el título, ¿Cómo es tu ciudad? Also write down the objective, please, which is to write a paragraph giving your opinion about the town that you live in. Pause to do that now. Press play to go on to the do now activity. And here's your do now. I would like you to copy out the verb vivir, which is a regular verb, in the present tense. So you can do it like the grid here, or just write the English with the Spanish next to it. That should take about 5 minutes. Pause to do that now and press play to get the answers. And now time to check your answers. I live, vivo. You singular live, vives. He or she lives, vive. And in the plurals, we live, vivimos. You plural live, vivís. And please do not forget to put the accent on the second I there. It's really important. Do that now. Pause if you need to, if you haven't done already. And then finally, they live, viven. Okay, so that is your full verb conjugation. I'm now going to pass you on to Miss Clinton, who's going to teach the end of the lesson. Sorry, the whole of the lesson for you. Gracias.
So on to the first activity. I'd like you to match up the opinions and qualifiers below. Please write both the Spanish and the English. So you should whiz through this. They're words that have been repeatedly used throughout the last couple of lessons. Okay, so let's check your answers. Me encanta, I love. Me gusta mucho, I really like. You may have written I like a lot. That would also be fine. Me gusta, I like. No me gusta, I don't like. Odio, I hate. Muy, very. Bastante, quite. Un poco, a little. So those last three you'll have noticed were the qualifiers, which we use before adjectives, just to give extra detail and variety into our speaking and writing, to say how much of something is so very quiet, for example. Okay, so we're going to do some reading practice now. I'd like you to read the 5 short texts below first of all. So there they are. Okay, you're going to read Luis. There he is there. Okay, David. Okay, Eva, Paula, and Lila. Okay, and they all live in Central America. So this is an amazing place to visit if any of you ever get the chance to go there. Beg your parents or perhaps save up some money for when you're older to go. So this, remember, Central America is the bit of land between North America and South America, but it's actually got quite a few countries in, as you can see, and they're all very tropical and amazing, with some amazing people and food and different cultures. So as I said, I really do recommend going. Okay, so you're going to read those through. You're then going to have a look at the 5 statements underneath. So here the 5 statements are. Now you'll notice they're in Spanish. Sometimes when you do a reading activity in an exam, you actually have to respond in Spanish. Here, I've made it slightly easier. You have multiple choice. So you need to choose the correct option in blue so that the sentences match the 5 texts above. Okay, so if we do the first one together, Pito solo. Okay, here's Pito solo. And it says, ¿es una ciudad grande o un pueblo pequeño? So let's find Pito solo. Okay, so Pito solo is actually a name of a place. Okay, Okay, so Eva, we're looking at Eva here. Okay, and it says, es un pueblo en Honduras, es pequeño y tranquilo. So if we go back here, we're either going to choose una ciudad grande or un pueblo pequeño. And we just read that it said, es un pueblo, es pequeño. So in your answers, you would write in Spanish, please. Number 1, Pito solo es un pueblo pequeño. Okay, so have a go at 2, 3, 4 and 5 yourselves now. Pause the video to do this. Okay, let's go through your answers. I'll go through them all and then perhaps you could pause your video to make any adjustments that you may need to. So number 1 we already did. Number 2, Luis vive en Salamá, es muy histórico. Número 3, San José es muy grande. 4, Santa Ana es una ciudad y es grande, bonita e histórico. And remember that they're using here an E to say and, because instead of a Y, because remember the word following it begins with an HI, and that's the grammar point that we looked at last lesson, if you remember. Okay, and lastly, Lila vive en Managua, es la capital de Nicaragua. So pause your video if you need to make any changes. Now, I'd like you to translate the 5 texts that you've just read into English, please. So pause your video now to spend about 10 minutes, and once your 10 minutes are up, you can then go through your answers. Okay, so let's go through. Don't worry if you didn't manage to translate all of them, as long as you had a good go. Some of you may have done all of them, so really, really well done if you did manage to get through all of them. So Luis, if we have a look here. Luis lives in Salamá. It is a town in Guatemala. It is very historic and very pretty. David lives in Santa Ana in El Salvador. It is a city and it is big, pretty and historic. Eva lives in Pito solo. It is a town in Honduras and it is small and quiet and it is not very touristy. Paola lives in San Jose in Costa Rica. It is the capital. It's very big and important. And Lila lives in Managua. It is a city. It's the capital of Nicaragua and it is very big and quite important. Okay, we're now going to do some listening practice. So the first thing I'd like you to do is copy down the table below into your book. Okay, so pause your video now to do this. Okay, in a moment, what you're going to do is open the audio file, which is attached to classcharts, okay? And for each person, what you're going to need to write down is, as you'll notice, I've written at the top here, obviously the name of the first city I've given you. So each person will talk about 2 cities that they like, and they're going to say why. So I've given you the first city. I'd then like you to add what they say their opinion is of that city, and then why they like it or dislike it. So you'll need to add in your adjectives there. It may be 1 or it may be 2. Then they then all mention a second city, which is their preferred city. So I've given you those because some of the spellings are a bit tricky. And you're again then going to need to say why they prefer that city. So it might be 1 or 2 adjectives to describe the second city. Let me do the first one with you so you get an idea and you can have a listen back to it when you open the audio file. So the first person mentions Salamá in Guatemala. They say that they like it, and they say because they like it because it's very pretty and historic. Notice, if you can, try and include the qualifiers that they use to describe how much. So is it very pretty? Is it quite pretty? Is it a little pretty? They then say, however, that they prefer the second city, which is San Jose. Remember, I've given you all the city names, and you just need to say why. So they say it's very big and important. Note, therefore, that often you're having to write down 2 adjectives, both for this column and this column, the last column. So I'd like you now to open the audio file on classcharts, have a listen, fill out your table, and then you'll need to come back to the video to check through your answers. Good luck. Suerte. Okay, hopefully you've had a listen and obviously you heard each one twice. So let's have a look at your answers. So we already did number 1 together. Number 2, Cazorla in Spain. They said that they liked it because it was quiet, but they preferred Bilbao, which is in the north of Spain, a lovely city with very modern, cool architecture, if you ever get to go one day. And they say they prefer it because it's big and modern. And then you have Gijón in Spain. I don't know Gijón, but I think it's well known for its wine. I think it's kind of north central Spain. They say they like it because it's important, but they prefer Ujue, which is small and historic. And lastly, Pito solo. They say they actually don't give their opinions. That's a bit of a trick, that one. But they say it's small and quite peaceful. You may have written quite quiet. That would also be fine. And they say, however, that they prefer Santa Ana in El Salvador because it's big and historic. So you might want to pause your video to make any changes now. Okay, you're going to finish off with writing then your own text about your town or city that you live in. So I'd like you to obviously introduce yourself first and say where you live, whether it's a town or city. If you can, even say where it is in England. Then say what your town is like. Can you try and use 3 adjectives? So perhaps tranquilo, divertido, whichever ones you want. And 3 adjectives to describe what your town is not like. And remember, if you live in a city, una ciudad, you're going to need to agree your adjectives. Your adjectives, remember, will need to end in A's. Okay, so also please give a positive opinion about the town or city you live in and why, and a negative opinion about the town or city you live in and why. Remember, it's always really important to justify your opinions. So you need to use some connectives and some qualifiers. So we've seen all of those words today, and you'll notice in the model text that I've written for you here, I've highlighted accordingly the connectives in red and the qualifiers in green to help you out as well. Okay, so I've also added at the bottom there, por un lado, on the one hand, and por otro lado, on the other hand. They're the perhaps 2 connectives you haven't used before, but I'd like you to integrate these 2 into your paragraph, just like I have done. So you'll notice I start, if I just get a pen here, I'll just show you that in a moment. So I've started off by saying, hello, my name is Señorita Clinton. I live in a town which is quite big that is called Woking. It is in the southeast of England and my town is quite important, given that it is quite near to London. However, it is a bit dirty. Also, it is quite modern. However, it is not historic. So you'll notice in the first section, I've ticked off these 3. So introducing myself, saying where I live and what it is like and what my city or town is not like. So the last section, I then use por un lado, on the one hand, because now I want to give 2 varying opinions about my town, okay, because I both like it and dislike it. So I'm going to use por un lado first, on the one hand, and then I'm going to give my positive opinion here about my town and why. So I'm going to say I like my town because it is very fun. However, and you'll need to use this connective sin embargo, however, to then lead into your negative opinion about the town you live in and why. Okay, and you can follow it by using por otro lado. On the other hand, because now you're wanting to say something that is opposite, aren't you? You like your town because it's fun, but you don't like it. I then said I don't like my town because as it is very noisy. Okay, so you can use my model. Okay, you can just vary the adjectives if you'd like, and finish off the lesson with this. So okay, just for the last couple of minutes, can you now read aloud your paragraph about your town or city? I wonder how many of you can do it from memory. So perhaps try reading off it a couple of times, and then the 3rd time perhaps try and do it without looking. Let's see how you get on. And if you have any time left at all, year 7, then to make up your hour, you can learn box 6 from your grammar knowledge organizer, which is on ClassCharts, or it's highlighted on the screen for you there.
Well done, Year 7. Excellent work. And that's 2 hours of Spanish done today. You can now look forward to the weekend. Please remember to upload a photo of your final paragraph onto ClassCharts when you are able to, so that I can give you a well-deserved achievement point. Have a great weekend. Gracias. Adios.